Welcome after your long weekend, which was for the National Day. Hopefully you all enjoyed your National Day long weekend. How was it? Did you do anything special? Within this year, Saudi Arabia is celebrating the 90th National Day. The 90th. 90 years of prosperity, growth, and progress. We have all to thank Allah for this blessing which we are having. Okay, let's go to our lesson. Our lesson today is going to be, which is the 11th part of this unit, form, meaning, and function. Page 16 and 17 in your student books. In your books, page 16 and 17. Okay, in this unit, in this lesson, you will get to know how to use simple past tense correctly, and you will use the past progressive tense correctly. So two tenses, the past simple and progressive. So let's go. I want to highlight on one idea before we start. This idea is essential and important whenever you want to form questions, sentences, positive or negative sentences. So let's check in here. This one, it all started in 1969 from the passage you listened to yesterday. The word started. This is a verb. You all know that this is a verb. Whenever you find a verb, I want you always to think about what is the meaning, what is the action that we have. The action is start, the present tense of the verb. And the time, at what time it happened? It happened in the past because of this D, and this one is going to give you a did. It will give you a did. When do we need this did? So we need a did for different situations. One more. King Abdulaziz regained Riyadh. What is regained? Regained is a verb. It is a verb. And in this verb, we will have two things. We will have the time, which is did, because it happened in the past, and regain, regain in the present. And it is this did which we're going to need. We're not needing it so far. Now here, what can we tell about it in here, which is was born. Was is the helping verb and born is the action verb. So what do we have? The helping verbs are whether they are did. Let me write it for you here. So we have the helping verb. They are did, and we discussed do and does, and in the other sentence we have was. We need these helping verbs in two situations. Number one, whenever you want to form a question, and number two, if you want to form a negative sentence. A negative. So, I didn't and did you. I wasn't and was you or were you. He wasn't or was he. Okay, so these they are. Just think about it this way. We need a helping verb in two situations. When you want to form a question or you want to form a negative sentence. So let's go ahead. These are some examples for sentences that occur in the simple past tense. When do we use the simple past tense? Whenever we have a verb, an action that happened in the past. It happened occurs just one time in the past. Maybe you want to tell a story. This morning I woke up. 2. Brushed my teeth. 3. Prayed. 4. Another action. 1 follow the other. Yesterday we wrote a note on important events. We did. We did last week. Last week we learned about the simple past, and we are doing it again. The establishment of Saudi Arabia was an important event. So all of these verbs are in the past. These are verbs in the past. Let's speak about the simple past tense. The format, whenever you want to form a sentence and you want it to be in the simple past tense, any English sentence starts with a pronoun, a noun, or instead of that, we will use a pronoun. So, after the pronoun, you will use verb number 2. What is verb number 2? The verb in the past tense. The verb in the past. Okay? So, go, went, play, played, regain, regained, see, saw. Some of them are regular, others are irregular. You have to recall them and remember them. Okay, an example is, I woke up at 7. This is the time, 7 before now. Maybe now it's 11 or 10. Before now. What do you mean by woke? Woke, past. So we will use did, and the present of woke is wake. So I did wake up at 7, so I woke up. Next, King Abdulaziz regained Riyadh. We have analyzed this one before, did and regain. Okay, but we will need it this way. Okay, let's now ask questions. We have someone who spent yesterday, let's say, yes, he spent his night yesterday watching TV. We will form sentences, questions, negative and affirmative sentences. What did he do yesterday? Focus here that we have a did because it is a question. So we have a question, so it is a did. What did he do? And this verb is in the present tense. What did he do yesterday? Can you tell from the picture? Yesterday he watched TV. Affirmative sentence. This is a sentence and it is an affirmative sentence. So never use a helping verb here. Okay? Never use a did, let's say. Okay? Watched is the combination of the watch with did. Because we have a did, we will use watched. Okay. Did he watch TV? How did we come? How did we come with this question? So the watch is the action and did is the time, and we change the order. You have to start with a helping verb. Did he watch TV? What do you think? Did he watch TV according to the picture that we've got here? Yes, he did. He did watch TV. So you have to use it. Just change the order. We changed the order in here. A crisscross. Let's do it the other way. What did he do yesterday? He did not go out. Can you compare watched with didn't go out? We used the did in here because we need a negative sentence. This sentence is negative. He didn't go out. Okay? He went out but didn't go out. Let's form a question. It's easy to form a question out of a negative. So did, then we have a he and the same verb, go. Did he go out? What do you think? Did he go out according to the picture? No, he did not. Never forget to use the negative not. No, he didn't. We will use the no for the did. And he did because it is a sentence. Okay? All done? So, if we need a helping verb for a question and a negative in affirmative sentence, you will put them all together in one word. Next, when do we use the simple past tense? It could be confusing for when do I use it? Do I need like a hint, a clue, or something that will tell me to use simple past tense in this situation or not? These we call them the time expressions. Time expressions for the simple past tense. Let me draw the timeline here for you. The time expressions for the simple past tense is last night. What did you do last night? Did, so last night. I watched a TV documentary. Watched. not did watch. I watched. Affirmative sentence. Next, where did you go yesterday? This is a key word. Yesterday. This is a time expression. Last night. Where did you go yesterday? We visited the Roman baths. So, visited because we have a did. We visited yesterday. Yes, it is yesterday. When, here, when did you visit Pakistan? We have a did. It happened in the past because we went or visited Pakistan last month. Okay? So we have the time expression last month, yesterday, maybe 1 hour ago, a minute ago. It means something that happened in the past. Whenever you have a time expression that gives you the sense that it happened in the past, yesterday, last week, just use the simple past tense. Okay, in your books, page 16, exercise B, what can you remember about Hans and Samir on page 11? You can flip through your book until you get to page 11, and you just to remember what happened between Samir and Hans. They were discussing a topic which was the idea of immigration and living in Berlin. So the sentence is, Hans' grandparents moved to Germany. Hans' grandparents moved to Germany. What tense is it? It happened in the moved. They moved in the simple past. Okay? Let's form a question and we will form negative sentence and we will answer them. So what do we mean by the word move? Moved is the verb action move and the helping verb did. The helping verb here is did. Okay, so the question is did. Let me clear that for you. Okay, so we have it here. Did Hans' grandparents move to West Germany? So we have it did. Can you focus on it here? It is a did in here and move, not moved, move. Okay? What do you think? His grandparents moved to West Germany. Did they move to West Germany? Yes, yes they did. Okay, so we used the did in here. What about the other one? We want to answer with a no. Hans' grandparents moved to Germany. We will analyze moved into did and move. Did they, so did they move to Dubai? What do you think? Did they move to Dubai? He did. No, they did not. They didn't move to Dubai. They moved to West Germany. Another example from the same conversation. Samir grew up in Dubai. Samir grew up in Dubai. Now an irregular verb. What do we mean by the word grew? Grew means past, so we will use did, and the present tense, which is grow. Seesaw, grew, grow. Okay, so let's form a question here. Did Samir, so did Samir grow, the present tense, grow up in Dubai? Yes, he did. He grew up in Dubai. How about the other one? Did Samir grow up, again, did and grow, in Berlin? No, he didn't. He grew up in Dubai. Okay? The answer yes or no depends on the original sentence. Okay, this is about the past simple. What about the past progressive? Whenever we say progressive, it means something that is taking an action. So let me write it here for you. It means taking an action. So always, never forget to use an ing. It is an ing, something taking action. So these two lines, they are taking action. They are happening, moving on. They took a long period of time. For it, we will use the pronoun he, she, or it, they, you, we, and we have an I, followed by, we need an ing. So, if you remember the present progressive, we will do the same thing, but this time we will change it into the past. So, it will be was or were, followed by the verb ing. Progressive, this is for the progressive, and that one is, this one is for the progressive, and these two are for the past. Okay? So, was and were for past, progressive, ing. Okay, yesterday at this time, I was taking a shower. Can you check it here? Was and ing. I was taking a shower. We have a very specific time in here. Not just yesterday, yesterday at this specific hour. It is something that is specified. 2. I was sleeping when the phone rang. I was sleeping. This is the wrong action. Was and sleeping. Whether was or were, you can choose based on the pronoun itself. I was sleeping. They were playing or studying. Okay. Next, let's do the same exercise, which is about watching TV. Here, what was he doing yesterday at 10? I want to know, what was he doing? Watching TV. So, he was watching TV yesterday at 10. Keyword, yesterday at 10, watching plus was. He was watching. Let's form a question. This is easier than analyzing. We already have the helping verb was and he, the crisscross. Was he instead of he was. Was he watching TV? Yes, he was. Just change the order. Yes, he was watching TV. Did he go out? Now we will change it into he was not working. He wasn't working yesterday at 10. So let's change it into a yes/no question. Was he working? And we have an ing here, by the way. Was he working? No, he wasn't working. He was watching TV. As easy as that. Just like the as, you will do the was. Okay. Now, what I want you to check in your books, page 17, we want to put the two tenses all together in, let's say, in one sentence. How can we reflect that in one sentence? When can combine the two sentences together? So we will have two ideas, two actions. One is going to be progressive and the other one is going to be simple, and we will put them all together with a one sentence. So we will have here on the timeline, let us write them. We will have two actions, like yesterday I was sleeping when the phone rang. Okay, so I was sleeping, this is the long action, when the phone rang. So the when comes with the simple past. This is when group, the same color. It comes with the simple past. However, the long action, which is the past progressive, will be the long action will be in the past progressive. Okay. The other one, we can change the order. If you want to start, sometimes you would love to start with when. So you would say, when the phone rang, I was sleeping. When the phone rang, I was sleeping. So on a timeline, it's the same idea. I was sleeping in here and the phone rang in the middle. One action, I was given a class when someone knocked the door. Long and short action. Next. Okay, in this one, Hans was walking when he met Samir. Let me put it on a timeline. What is the long action and the short action? We have long action and a short action. What is the long action that we've got in here? Hans was walking, so this is the idea of walking, and when he met Samir, the short action, which is met. So met in here. Let's take another example. Another example, when Hans met Samir, he was walking. Again, the same idea that we've got in here. Long action, short action, walking and met. Walking and met. Okay? By the way, the same idea that we have discussed before, never use an ing or past progressive, present progressive tense with these verbs, whether they are related to emotions, related to senses, related to ideas, opinions, or let's say have. Never say having, or you would say tasting or loving. He, whether it is now or it's taking a long action. I was smelling, never say I was smelling. I smelt. I heard. I loved. You can say. Never use an ing with them. Why? Because these are things that are happening. Whether in your mind you cannot see the action itself. It never happens. Okay, now in your books, page 17, exercise C. Books. Now we will use the when. The people sleep, earthquake happen. Which one is a long action and which one is the short action? The sleeping is long and the earthquake in the middle. The people were sleeping when the earthquake happened. You can change the order, by the way. You can start with the when. 2. Fatima going home, see her friend Nawal. Fatima was going home when she saw her friend Nawal. She met her, just like walking and met. Majid looked at trees, he see parrot. Long action, short action. When Majid was looking at the trees when he saw a parrot. Okay? The students wait for bus, rain start. Okay? The students were waiting for a bus when it started raining. It started raining. Okay? So the long action, it comes without when. The when, when comes with the short action, the interruption. Now in the same page, exercise D, complete the text with the past simple or past progressive tense. When they were young, speaking about when they were young, my grandparents were very poor. There was no work in their country, so they decided. I will highlight the verbs in. They decided to. They decided to leave the country. So what do we say here? They were poor. There were no work in their country, so they decided to leave their country. So in September there was no work in their country, so they decided to leave. In September 1971, so we have a time, my grandparents left. This is an example. They left their hometown in Greece and traveled the same time, and they traveled to Athens. There they board. How do we use board? They boarded with an ed, so they boarded a train for Germany with 1,500 other passengers. Okay? As the long steam train set off, as it was setting off, the long action is setting off. Then we have multiple actions happened at the middle. So the idea of launching, starting to move, and setting off, it was setting off. All the people on the train cried. So it was setting off, and they cried. A final goodbye to their friends and family, who were standing. They were just sitting there. They were waiting the whole time. They were standing on the platform and watching. By the way, watching is a keyword. Watching the train depart. They made their long journey to Germany. They made it to Germany, and they arrived in Munich in the early morning hours. 2 days later. So it took them 2 days. When my grandparents, when they stepped off the train just for once, their hopes and expectations be, what is the past of be? They were bigger than their suitcases. Bigger than their suitcases. So the long action is setting off, traveling, and